What if Anakin had told Yoda about Palpatine instead of Mace Windu? How would the Grand Master of the Jedi Order have reacted to such a revelation? Would the fall of the Republic still be inevitable, or could the course of history have changed forever? As the Clone Wars neared their end, Anakin Skywalker wrestled with the weight of his visions. Dark, terrifying glimpses of Padmé's fate. Desperate and torn, he sought guidance, but instead of confiding in Mace Windu, he made a different choice. He turned to the wisest Jedi of them all, Yoda. The war had already taken its toll on the Jedi, and mistrust ran deep. The dark side clouded everything, making it difficult to see the true nature of events as they unfolded. But as Anakin stepped into Yoda's dimly lit chamber, he carried with him knowledge that could alter the fate of the galaxy forever. From here, the story unfolds as Anakin speaks the words that would set a new chain of events in motion. The war had exhausted Anakin, both physically and emotionally. The nightmares of Padmé's death consumed him, twisting his thoughts into paranoia and fear. Palpatine had been nurturing this fear, planting the seeds of doubt against the Jedi Council, while subtly promising Anakin the knowledge to save Padmé. But the weight of his responsibilities, his growing uncertainty, and a nagging feeling in the Force told him something was wrong. Sitting alone in the council chamber, Anakin replayed the conversation he had with Palpatine earlier that day. The Chancellor had not only revealed his knowledge of the dark side, but had outright admitted to being a Sith Lord. Every instinct within Anakin had screamed at him to strike Palpatine down, yet he hesitated. The Sith Lord had spoken of saving Padmé, of power that the Jedi refused to teach. Was it a lie? Or was it the truth the Jedi had kept from him? As the suns of Coruscant dipped below the skyline, Anakin made his decision. Instead of rushing to Mace Windu, he sought out Master Yoda. Yoda, deep in meditation within his chamber, felt the disturbance before Anakin even entered. The young Jedi was troubled, his emotions clouded and chaotic. Yoda turned his wise, ancient eyes toward Anakin as he entered. Anakin, struggling to control his breathing, spoke quickly. He revealed everything: the Chancellor's identity as a Sith Lord, his manipulations, and his claim to hold the key to saving Padmé. As he spoke, the weight of the revelation settled in the air between them. Yoda was silent for a long moment, absorbing the information. This changed everything. Sidious had been in control all along, twisting the Republic to his will, and now his final move was about to be played. The war, the deaths, the suffering, it had all been part of the Sith's grand design. But Yoda was not. Windu. Where Windu's first instinct would have been to act, to immediately strike down the Sith, Yoda sought wisdom. Acting rashly was exactly what the Sith wanted. If they were to move against Sidious, it had to be with precision. Instead of charging into the Chancellor's office, Yoda called for an emergency council meeting. The Jedi Masters, though skeptical of Anakin's reliability, could not ignore the weight of his claim. The Sith had long been their unseen enemy, and now one sat at the heart of the Republic. However, there was a greater challenge: the clones. Yoda understood that Sidious held control over the Grand Army. If they moved against him without preparation, he could execute Order 66, wiping out the Jedi in an instant. They needed a countermeasure. Yoda's mind moved quickly, searching for alternatives. There was one: Order 65. The forgotten counterpart to Order 66, this protocol allowed for the arrest or removal of the Supreme Chancellor. if he was deemed unfit to rule. It was a long shot, but if they could convince the Senate or the right military officials, they could turn the clones against Sidious before he could do the same to them. Anakin, desperate to act, struggled with Yoda's patience. Every moment wasted was another moment Sidious could move, but Yoda knew that haste led to ruin. He dispatched trusted Jedi across Coruscant to gather allies in the Senate. Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, and other dissenters of Palpatine's growing authority were approached in secret. Meanwhile, key clone commanders, including Captain Rex and Commander Cody, were subtly warned about possible Sith infiltration. Then, the final step. Yoda, along with Anakin, Mace Windu, and several other Jedi Masters, made their way to the Chancellor's office under the guise of diplomacy. The Senate building was already stirring. Word of an emergency vote had begun spreading. The Jedi were not moving alone. Palpatine, seated in his dimly lit office, sensed the shift in the Force. The Jedi were no longer blinded by his deception. His fingers tightened around the armrests of his chair. He had waited for this moment. As the Jedi entered, he remained calm. His golden eyes scanned their faces, landing on Anakin last. He had hoped for more time, but no matter. The endgame had arrived. Mace Windu's voice was the first to break the silence. He declared Palpatine under arrest for treason and Sith conspiracy. Yoda's presence made the accusation all the more undeniable. Palpatine chuckled. So, it has come to this. Then he struck. The room exploded into chaos. Sidious ignited his crimson blade, moving with unnatural speed. The Jedi Masters countered, engaging him in a deadly duel. But unlike the original timeline, Yoda was here, and Anakin was not caught in indecision. Anakin, driven by purpose, joined the fight. His blade clashed against Sidious's, and together with Yoda and Windu, they forced the Sith Lord onto the defensive. Palpatine was powerful, far more than any single Jedi could handle, but against three of the most formidable warriors in the Order, even he struggled. Then came the moment of choice. As Palpatine was disarmed, his yellow eyes turned toward Anakin. "You need me," he hissed. "Padme will die without my knowledge." Anakin's grip on his saber tightened. For a moment, the world slowed. Then, without hesitation, he drove his lightsaber through Palpatine's chest. The Sith Lord's scream echoed through the Senate chamber as the dark energy of the Force ripped free from his body. The Jedi stepped back, watching as the greatest threat to the Republic crumbled before them. With Palpatine dead, the Jedi wasted no time. The Senate, already suspecting foul play from the Chancellor, was quick to act upon the revelation of his Sith identity. Order 65 was executed, placing emergency power in the hands of the Jedi and their Senate allies. The clones, confused but obedient to their new directive, stood down. Anakin, though victorious, felt the weight of his choice. He had been so close to the dark side, so close to losing himself, but now there was hope. Padme would still live, the Republic could still be saved, and the Jedi had a chance to rebuild, stronger and wiser than before. The war was over, but the true work was just beginning. Would Anakin's fate have truly changed, or was he always destined to fall? What if Yoda had confronted Sidious himself, leading to a duel that could alter the entire fate of the galaxy? That, again, is a story for another time.